to you this day of your time. How are you? All right. Thank you. Good morning, class. Thank you. Today of your day, we will begin this interaction by first and foremost, once again, thanking each and every one of you for co-creating with us this transmission. We will be conducting this day of your time a type of class, a type of laboratory. There will be a test. Just kidding. No, I'm not. There will be a variety of things that we will do in this interaction today. We will be sharing some knowledge. We will be having some discussion. We will be having some fun. We will be playing some games. We will be exploring many different ideas that we have discussed in the past from a different point of view. We will be shedding some light from different perspectives on many of the concepts we have discussed, and a few new ones today, so that we can begin together to create a common language, a common understanding of some of these principles that you can then apply in your reality, apply in your lives, to create the kind of joyful, creative, passionate lives you say you would like to have. And the purpose again of this is to begin to form a coherent and cohesive understanding, a holistic understanding of many of the different ideas that have been discussed for many years in what you call your metaphysical communities, bringing some of them down to a very simplified and grounded understanding so that, once again, it is easy and effortless to apply in your life. At first, again, some of these concepts may seem to be a little puzzling, a little confusing, but that is only because it may be in an expression you are not used to. But again, that is all right. Bit by bit, we will form a common understanding. We will explore together, as deeply as you wish, many of these principles, so that we understand and you understand it as fully as you possibly can, and in that way, it can be very effective in your day-to-day experience of your lives and in following your passion and living your lives to the fullest, which is the only thing you are required to do in life. Just be yourself as fully as you can. It's the only agreement you have with creation. However you choose to do that is up to you, and it is the combination of understanding and agreement that you have created between your physical mind and your higher mind, and learning to form a strong relationship, a close communion between your physical mind and your higher mind is what will allow you to feel that you can glide through life effortlessly, which does not mean you will not have challenges, but will give you the tools with this understanding to face them in a joyful, creative way, to make them play instead of obstacles, and allow yourself to see that the universe really is your playground, and that it is really up to you to decide how you will experience your own existence. But exist you will. You will never change that. We have talked many times about the idea we call the 4 laws, and we will talk about them again today, but in a different way. We will talk about the 4 laws as states of being, so that again, you can bring them down to earth and apply them in your day-to-day lives in different ways than you may have applied them before. We will also, during the course of this interaction, offer you a few brain teasers. Now, these puzzles, these word plays, already exist on your planet. Some of you may already know them. We encouraged the channel to do some research for us to find certain ones that would touch on certain things for the purpose of illustrating how preconceptions work, how your brains process things, how you think. Just for the purpose of playfully illuminating some of the reasons how beliefs and definitions may color what you see in life, and how to be more aware of when you have those particular points of view and how to change them in a way that serve you. So, during the course of any particular brain teaser, we would like to ask that any of you that may recognize them and know what the answers are, keep that to yourselves, so that those that do not know may benefit from the new experience. All right? All right? Thank you. Want to make sure class is awake. All right. Now then, let us begin in the following way. April.
Yes, Bashar.
Will you please be so kind as to walk up to the board that has been created and remove the piece of paper in the upper left labeled number 1.
All right.
And what does it say?
It says
Prime
Radiant.
Prime Radiant. Thank you. You may sit.
Okay, thank you.
Now, we have discussed this concept a little bit, and today, through the creativity and kindness of many people, we are able to provide a little bit more of a graphic demonstration of this concept to really visually drive the point home into the center of your brain. Remember this: every new thought literally, physiologically alters the neurological pathways in your brain. Every single thought. So one of the things that we will be doing here today is providing ideas and demonstrations in such a manner so that the brain paths will be altered, not without your permission, but will be altered in such ways as to allow you more ease of absorption and understanding of many of these concepts, to make them your own, to make them, as you say in your language, second nature, really first nature, so that you will apply them more automatically in your lives. Now, this concept, Prime Radiant, is based on the idea that many of your scientists, many of your physicists have begun to explore now for quite some time. The idea has been termed in your society the unified theory, M theory, string theory, many different things. And they are approaching an understanding of this concept as we know it. The idea basically being that you can render everything down to its simplest possible component. That everything that seems to be different things are actually expressions of one thing. Now, we would like to take this a step further than your scientists have yet to do by explaining the idea in its most basic way, again, reiterating that when we talk about the idea that everything is one thing, we mean it even unto the concept of what you call a single particle. Now, we understand that the word particle is just a euphemism. It is energy, it is consciousness, it can represent or express itself as a particle, as a wave, as energy, as mass. But for the sake of convenience in this conversation, we will use the concept particle, again, just to aid and assist you in your visualization. The idea, therefore, of understanding the prime radiant and how everything is one is to imagine that there is only one particle in existence. I don't mean one kind of particle, I mean only one particle. That's it. All of existence is made from the same one particle. In the ultimate time-sharing plan. What do we mean by that? I will explain. And we will explain with a beautiful demonstration. Kirby, are you ready to assist? Kathy, are you ready to turn down the lights? Not yet. All right. Now, as you can already see, there are on either side of the channel's body 2 round crystals. For now, assume there is only one. Only one. This is the particle, the one particle that exists, the only one. Now, if that particle does not really have mass, because there's nothing else, nothing to interact with, no gravity, in a sense, nothing else, just that particle, no real space, it has no mass, it can really move in any way it wants to. It can move beyond the speed of light. In fact, its speed, again a euphemism, can really be infinite. It can move anywhere it wants as fast as it wants. So the idea is, let us say, this particle decided to move from here to here. Kirby? All right. Now, there it is. Now you say, well, it's over there. Now, let's say it is moving here and there and there and here and back and forth. And the idea is that because it can move at infinite speed, you can start moving back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Turn off the lights. Back and forth, back and forth. As it moves back and forth, and as it does so at infinite speed, you can ramp up the speed, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, faster, 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 until it is going back and forth so quickly, it appears to be in 2 places at once. Do you see this? All right. It is actually going back and forth, but it appears to be 2 places at once. But what this appears like to you in your physical reality is it appears like 2 particles. It's not. It's the same particle. The idea, therefore, to expand this notion is if you imagine that this single particle can move at infinite speed, what that means is it can be everywhere at the same time, appearing as if it is a multitude of particles, when in fact it's all the same one particle moving back and forth in an intricate pattern, an intricate geometric pattern of consciousness that thus then makes it appear that the universe is full of different particles, different atoms, different things. But every single thing, every star, every galaxy, every rock, every being, every atom, every subatomic particle are all made out of the same one particle. So when we talk about the idea of everything being one, not only is it meant spiritually and energetically, it is literally meant physically as well. When this particle crosses its own path in this incredibly beautiful and complex geometric pattern, when it crosses its own path, it reinforces itself. It becomes denser and denser and denser and denser. It has something now to interact with itself on a different path. And as it interacts with itself more and more often on many different paths, in many different perspectives, it becomes denser, 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 and forms the different states of reality from higher dimensions to physical reality. But it's all the same. It's all made out of the same one thing, literally. Does that seem clear to you? All right. You may leave them on, bring up the lights if you wish. Now, thank you very much for your assistance. The idea then is to really understand that as you hold on to this visual, as you replay this in your imagination, and as you then look at any one or anything in your reality, allow yourself to expand this visual image you have now been given today in such a way, bit by bit, at whatever pace is comfortable for you, that when you, let's say, are sitting in front of a rock or sitting in front of another person, however you wish to do it, that you, in your imagination, allow yourself to begin to see in your mind's eye this one single particle going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, so quickly that you see it actually building up all of the different atoms in you and in the other object or person you are looking at. Back and forth until you are both flickering so fast that it appears you are actually two solid things. The more you practice this visualization, the more you will begin to actually identify with more and more things in creation, because you will truly understand you are actually all made out of the same one thing. And as you begin to do this, and as you begin to practice this more and more, in a relaxed state, in an open state, and really breathe this in and make it your own, however you wish to do it, then you will begin to see other effects begin to happen in your lives. You will start to unlock your point of view on existence, on creation, on physical reality. You will start to experience different kinds of things. You may suddenly have a sensation that nothing around you is real. It may suddenly look very flat, like what you call a fake movie set. It may, on the other hand, suddenly begin to glow more brightly. It may take on all sorts of different qualities. But what all of those effects simply mean is you are starting to see, truly see, with the inner eye, the inner sight, truly see the universe for what it is, the multiverse for what it is, creation for what it is. One and the same thing that only exists now, and that all things coexist simultaneously. You'll begin to expand this ability out and out and out and out to begin to include more and more and more of all the things in creation. When you look at the stars, you will then know, you will then feel and know that all of the atoms in that star are all made out of the same one particle you are made of. Literally. 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 Now, we will get into different aspects of this realization a little bit later on as well. At this moment, are there any questions about this concept anyone would like to explore more deeply? Just speak up. Thoughts are consciousness, and in that sense, consciousness is the particle, is what creates the particle. Thoughts are the particle moving in a certain pattern within the matrix that makes you up. So thought, in a sense, is a side effect from consciousness experiencing itself in a certain geometric pattern that the particle takes in making you up. Is that clear? Thank you. Yes?
Hi. How does one get rid of thoughts that they don't like hanging around?
How does one get rid of thoughts they don't like hanging around? No one gets rid of anything.
Transform it.
Thank you. Transform. Yes. We will get to that as well. Now, Kirby, will you please go up to the board and remove paper number 2? What have we got? Creation is intelligent. This has been, oh, thank you. This has been a subject of controversy on your planet for quite some time. Is there a God? Is it intelligent? Now, when we say creation is intelligent, we're not talking about the euphemism exactly on your planet that is now more recently referred to as intelligent design. This is not a religious argument. The idea here is very, very simple. It is an idea of holism. It is an idea of understanding an extrapolation, an extension of what we have just explained about everything being one and the same thing. So, may I have a volunteer stand up? Yes? Speak up. All right, hello. I'm going to ask you a question. Are you ready? All right. The question is, are you intelligent?
No.
You had enough intelligence to say no. I didn't ask if you were smart. I asked if you were intelligent.
I would say I'm intelligence.
Thank you. You are an intelligence. You are aware, yes?
Yes.
Thank you. You may sit. Awareness and intelligence is what we are talking about. You are self-aware. You are an intelligence. We're not talking about the idea of the subjective point of view of how you may apply your intelligence. Whether someone may, quote unquote, judge you to be smart or stupid or what have you. It's not what we are talking about here. What we are simply talking about is the quality itself that you have intelligence. You are aware. Now, you are, all of you are, as we have just demonstrated, an aspect of creation. You're all the same one thing. If, thus then, any part of the whole has intelligence, intelligence is a quality of the entire thing. It's as simple as that. Imagine, if you will, an ice cube. Imagine that ice cube sitting on a table. You now have in your hand a hammer. Smash the ice cube. See the pieces go flying off in a number of different directions. Now, no matter how many pieces there are, every single piece is still made of ice, just like the whole cube. The quality of any piece, the quality of the ice in any piece tells you what quality must have existed in the entire cube to begin with. Thus then, when you talk about the concept of is creation intelligent, is there an intelligence, is it aware, it may not be the kind of consciousness you understand as human consciousness. It may be a very different expression, but the fundamental quality that you possess as a being is awareness and intelligence. That quality, therefore, exists by definition, by default, in the whole. How it may express its intelligence, again, may be very different than how you choose to express yours. But this is part and parcel of what we in our civilization call the science of the obvious. Let it be obvious. There really is no mystery here when you keep it very simple. When you understand the concept of holism, when you understand the concept that everything is actually truly made out of the same one thing, many other things we have talked about, many other metaphysical concepts, many other concepts that may at first seem mysterious are suddenly very obvious when you base them on the first understanding that everything is one thing. So again, to drive the point home. When you, A, know everything is, by definition, made of one thing, then you can start to extrapolate some very simple conclusions. You are part of that whole. You are that whole. You are one and the same thing, made out of the same thing. The qualities you possess must therefore, by definition, be qualities that, by definition, the whole also possesses. Whether or not it expresses them in the same way is not the point. It still has that quality. So, creation has intelligence. Creation is aware. It is up to you, again, by forming your relationship, your personal relationship with creation, in your understanding that everything in creation is made out of the same one thing, to form your particular perspective of what that relationship will give you, of what communication will come between the intelligence in the way you express it and intelligence in the way creation expresses it. How you are a translation of the awareness, a translation of the intelligence of creation in a specific format, in a specific mode that is represented by your unique pattern the single particle takes when it defines you, the unique you that you are. You are resonating. You are that single particle resonating in a certain way, at a certain pitch, at a certain signature frequency, signature vibration that is you, uniquely you, and you alone. But that vibration is a part of the symphony of all vibrations that single particle creates in the orchestra of all that is. So you are one note. Many of you together are chords. All together you are the symphony of all that is in all the vibrations that it contains. So, you are music, you are awareness, you are intelligence. Being yourself to the fullest you can be is simply singing your song. That's all it is. You all have a song to sing. All you need to do is sing it, and you will be playing your part. You will be playing your instrument in the symphony of creation in the most harmonious, melodious way you possibly can. When you experience the idea of fear and doubt and don't necessarily allow yourself to be in harmony, you may now and then hit what you would perceive as a discordant note. That's all right. Again, as we have said, you can use that in a positive way as well. Bring it back into the fold and allow your song to be that much richer, that much sweeter, that much more in harmony with the overall symphony of all that is. Does that make sense? Excuse me? Thank you. Now, Kevin, would you please step up to the board and remove the third piece of paper? What did it reveal? Infinity. Thank you. Have a seat. Cody, step up to the board and remove the papers that are 3A and 3B. What have you got there? A kind of a formula. You may have a seat. Thank you. The formula, for those of you who are somewhat math-oriented, basically says in simple and obvious terms, infinity is greater than the finite. The finite is less than the infinite. That's all it says there. But the implications of that formula are profound. Here is how to interpret this from our perspective. Many people, again, for quite some time, have pondered, Is creation infinite, or is it finite? Which is it? Does it go on forever? Is it eternal? Or does it have a limit? Does it have a boundary? All right, a fair question. Who has an answer? Yes, and in what way? One's an illusion? Yes and no. One is contained in the other. Very good. The idea here is to understand the very concept of concepts. What we talked about last night of your time, the whole idea of imagining, and what you imagine is real, because you cannot imagine non-existence. So anything you imagine, anything you can conceive of, must on some level of existence be real somewhere. It may not be pertinent to your reality, but it is real somewhere, because you cannot imagine that which is not. So anything you imagine must be a part of what is somewhere, somewhen, on some level. This equation keys right into that idea. You have in your head the concept of infinity. You have created this concept. As was pointed out, finite. The finite is contained within the infinite. The infinite is not conceptually contained within the finite. Thus, if both terms exist in concept, both must exist in reality. Because if infinity didn't exist, you wouldn't be able to conceive of it. Things simply would be finite. You wouldn't know them any other way. You would never be able to conjure up the concept of infinity. But because you have, it tells you infinity is real in your terms. And that thus the finite is contained within it, because if the finite were the real reality, the finite could not contain nor produce the concept of infinity. But since you have both of them, infinity and the finite, it tells you that infinity must exist, that creation itself is infinite, even while there may be aspects of it that express themselves in a finite way. Said another way, the concept of limits, the concept of beginnings, the concept of endings, and the concept of boundaries are all contained within the infinite. The infinite is not subject to them, because the infinite exists first. It is all that is. All that is. And thus then, any concept, a beginning, an ending, time, space, any kind of what you might refer to as a boundary or limitation, is part and parcel within all that is, but all that is not subject to it. Thus then, questions like, well, did the infinite universe have a beginning? No, because it's not subject to time. Time is subject to all that is. So there may be beginnings and endings within all that is, but all that is not subject to a beginning or an ending. It is above and beyond and outside all of those things, and there is nothing beyond, above, or outside that. Nothing beyond, above, or outside all that is. So it's not subject to anything. Everything is subject to it. So infinity is greater than the finite. The finite is always less than the infinite, and because both concepts exist in your imagination, both are real and are expressed in a variety of ways, but it is clear, because of the greater than, less than symbol, that infinity is never less than the finite. Whatever concepts are finite are always less than infinity, within it, contained within it. Does that make sense? Yes. And again, this is a logical extrapolation in the science of the obvious. 1, 2, 3. To again express it another way, We have many times talked about the idea of reincarnation, and again, from our perspective, it is not that it is really reincarnation, because space-time are illusions. Everything only exists now, and that the idea is that you do have other lives, but they're going on right now at the same time, in a different vibration. Again, in the same way that you have multiple channels on your television, and just because you're looking at one at any particular moment doesn't mean the other programs aren't there at the same time. They are, but you only see what you're tuned to at any given moment. So, all your lives are like that. Past is a euphemism. Future is a euphemism. The idea is that everything's going on all at once. Therefore, again, in the logical extrapolations of the science of the obvious, if you know from the beginning everything is one thing and only exists now, then when the topic of reincarnation comes up, based on your understanding of the one and the now, the only logical interpretation of the concept of reincarnation is that all the lives exist now. It's a simple, logical, obvious extrapolation. One builds to the other. One leads to the other. This is the science of the obvious, and why certain things from our perspective are simply, clearly obvious. Because we understand the first principle is so, we understand how all the other concepts must exist in order to fit the first principle. So if there is only here and now, you know that and know everything is one, then all of your lives, all of them exist now, and they are also, no matter how many of them you have, no matter how each of them may consider themselves to be the only physical one, they are all sharing the same one particle. Because again, remember, time and space are illusions created by the path of the particle, the geometric path of that particle. And therefore, it is only a degree of the particle crossing itself that creates the concept of a different frequency that makes it seem as if another life going on simultaneously is actually happening in another time frame. The past, the future, another dimension, so on and so forth. It is just the way the particle arranges itself that determines how you perceive that. If you were to allow yourself, and again, here's another effect that could happen. It may or may not. It's not necessarily something to strive for. Let it happen naturally if it does, because if it happens, it will serve you. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't need to. But just to fire your imaginations, when you begin doing the exercise we talked about and visualizing, as you saw here, the idea that the particle that makes all of you up is the same one particle that makes up everything else, and you do that relationship visualization, you may also actually start to perceive some of your other simultaneous life selves. And you may actually start to perceive them physically. Don't freak out. I will tell you a little secret. Not often, but sometimes, now and then, some of you have already done this and didn't know it. You might have seen another person somewhere standing, and they might have looked out of place, out of time. It might actually have been your perception of one of your other lives for that moment. This may become more common as you get into a more unified understanding of your relationship to creation. The degree to which this may or may not happen, again, is simply relative to the degree to which you may need to know or perceive this for your particular life path here. But if you also look into many of what you call your historical accounts, where different people in the past talk of seeing strange beings, spiritual beings, angels, and what have you, they may from time to time be seeing things that have nothing to do with you, but from time to time they may actually be seeing you. A future life from their point of view that is going on simultaneously. And they may simply relate that they had a vision, and they saw this strange being dressed very strangely, and then it disappeared. Might have been you. Maybe wearing spandex or something. So, sometimes you may actually come across a historical account that describes something like this, and all of a sudden understand it is something that was perceived from that time to this time. Even some, not all, even some of what you now in your now today time call UFOs are yourselves in ships in the future. They're not all aliens in that sense. So, when you learn to use craft that way, when you learn to tunnel through space and time, you will find that many times you will overlap many different frequencies, and you will be perceived by some of your own other lives as UFOs. And they may think, oh, there are aliens, and don't even know that it's themselves in another life in that craft. So, it's all very flexible in this way. Does this make sense? Yes. All right. This is all designed, bit by bit, at whatever pace you are comfortable, to slowly dissolve the borders and barriers you have placed in your mind through certain definitions that you have been taught. And bit by bit, in replacing and transforming those borders and barriers in your mind, you will allow yourself to begin to dissolve and understand you are all connected, all one thing, and you will start to perceive your reality that way. Do not freak out. If you're going to freak, freak in. And as always, laughter is very centering and will allow you to dissolve these barriers with greater ease.